Long ago, in a time when kingdoms stood proudly and people lived close to nature, there was a young man named Saro. He was not a prince. He was not from a rich home. He was simply a traveling cloth weaver who moved from town to town, carrying his tools on his back and earning a living with his hands. Saro was tall, quiet, and hard-working. Everywhere he went, people welcomed him because he was respectful. He never fought anyone. He never cheated anyone. If he wove cloth for you, he did it with his whole heart. Because of this, many people liked him. After many years of traveling, Saro arrived in a large Yoruba kingdom known for its wealth and beauty. The land was fertile, the markets were full, and the people there lived peacefully under a powerful king. When Saro entered the town, he felt something he had not felt in a long time, a sense of belonging. "I think this is where I should stay," he said to himself. So he built a small hut near the edge of the town and made it his new home. Every morning he would sit outside, weaving cloth, singing to himself in a soft voice. Slowly, the people in the town began to know him. They called him Saro the Weaver. One quiet afternoon, while selling his cloth in the marketplace, Saro saw a woman walking with a few servants behind her. She wore fine clothes, her skin glowed like the morning sun, and her steps were gentle yet confident. Everyone around bowed their heads because she was not an ordinary woman. She was Arolake, one of the king's wives. When she passed by, Saro looked up, and their eyes met for a brief moment. It was a moment that changed everything. Arolake turned her head away quickly, but Saro's heart beat faster. He had never seen anyone as beautiful. Over the next few days, Saro kept seeing her in the market or near the palace. Sometimes she bought cloth for herself or for the other royal wives. Each time she saw Saro, she felt a strange pull towards him. She knew it was forbidden for her to speak to another man, yet she could not forget his face. One evening, when the market was almost empty, Arolake came alone. She pretended to look at the cloth Saro displayed, but her hands trembled slightly. "You weave beautifully," she said softly. Saro bowed. "Thank you, my lady." That short conversation was the beginning of a secret friendship, and soon the friendship grew into something deeper. They started meeting in hidden places, under large trees or behind quiet huts, talking about life, dreams, and the world beyond the palace walls. But they both knew their love was dangerous. In the kingdom, the king's wife belonged only to the king. If he discovered their secret, the punishment would be severe. The forbidden love. Weeks passed, and the love between Saro and Arolake grew stronger. Arolake was lonely in the palace. Even though she had fine clothes, servants, and food, she had no one who truly cared for her. The king had many wives and rarely spent time with her. She felt like a beautiful bird trapped in a golden cage. Saro, on the other hand, felt complete whenever he was with her. He had found someone who saw him not as a poor cloth weaver, but as a man with a heart and dreams. One night, under the moonlit sky, Arolake held Saro's hands and said, "Let us run away. I want to be with you, not as a queen, but as a woman." At first, Saro hesitated. "If they catch us, they will kill me." Arolake squeezed his hand. "I cannot stay in the palace anymore. I would rather face danger with you than remain here feeling empty." Saro looked into her eyes. They were filled with trust and longing. He nodded. They planned to run away at dawn, but unknown to them, one of the palace guards had seen them together days earlier and had been silently watching. Before Saro and Arolake could escape, the guard reported everything to the king. The king was furious. His anger shook the entire kingdom. "Weaver?" he shouted. "A common weaver dares to touch what belongs to me." He ordered his soldiers to find Saro immediately. When they found him, they beat him with sticks until his body could no longer move. Then they carried him far into the forest and left him there to die. They believed no man could survive such beating. Arolake watched from a distance, her heart breaking into pieces. She could not cry or scream, or else everyone would know her part in the matter. After the soldiers left, she ran into the forest to find Saro. When she saw him lying on the ground, breath barely left in him, she knelt beside him and held his hand. "Saro, please stay with me," she cried, but Saro's eyes were already closed. Just then, the forest became quiet. The wind stopped blowing. The birds stopped singing. The air felt different. Arolake raised her head and saw a giant bird landing near them. It was the Akala bird, a mystical creature that held the secret of life and death. It carried a small charm around its neck, a charm powerful enough to bring a dead person back to life. Arolake hid behind a tree as the bird approached Saro. Its wings spread wide, and it prepared to take Saro's soul. Suddenly, Arolake acted with courage she did not know she had. She grabbed a stick from the ground and threw it at the bird. Startled, the bird flew back for a moment. Arolake rushed forward, snatched the charm, and held it tightly. The bird let out a loud cry and disappeared into the trees. Arolake's hands shook as she placed the charm on Saro's chest. At first, nothing happened, but then, slowly, Saro's fingers moved. His eyes opened. He took a deep breath. "Saro!" Arolake cried, tears rolling down her face. Saro looked around, confused. I was gone. "You came back," she whispered. "The birth of ANÍKÚLÁPΟ." Arolake explained everything. The charm, the bird, and how she saved him. When Saro realized the power he now held, he was amazed. No man in the kingdom had such a gift. With the charm, Saro could now bring the dead back to life. They decided not to return to the king's town. Instead, they traveled far away, settling in a new village where no one knew them. There, Saro used his power only once at first to test if the charm truly worked. When it brought a dead child back to life, the news spread like wildfire. People started calling him ANÍKÚLÁPΟ, the one who carries death in his pocket. Farmers came to him with hope. Mothers begged him for help. Warriors asked him to save their fallen brothers. Each time he revived someone, people offered him gifts: goats, yams, cloth, money. Soon Saro became rich. His hut became a large compound. People bowed when they saw him. Even kings from faraway lands sent messengers to him, asking for his power. Pride enters Saro's heart. At first, Saro remained humble, but over time, pride slowly walked into his heart. He began to see himself as more important than everyone else. He believed no one could challenge him, not even the gods. Arolake noticed the change. She reminded him gently, "Remember how you gained this power. Remember who stood by you." But Saro brushed her aside. "I am ANÍKÚLÁPΟ. People worship me now." He started taking more wives, even though Arolake begged him to stay faithful. He ignored her. He treated her like a servant, instead of the woman who saved his life. Soon, Arolake felt the same loneliness she once felt in the king's palace. She realized that the man she loved had slowly disappeared, replaced by pride and greed. One day, a powerful king invited Saro to his palace. The king's only daughter had died, and he promised Saro great rewards if he brought her back to life. Saro agreed, but instead of helping immediately, he became greedy. He demanded an even bigger reward: lands, servants, and wealth beyond measure. The king grew angry. "You think you can control death? You forget that every power has a source." Still, Saro held his head high. "I will revive your daughter only if you give me everything I ask." Arolake, who had followed him, pulled him aside and whispered, "This is not the man I saved. This is not the Saro I loved." But Saro refused to listen. When he finally walked towards the princess's body, something unexpected happened. The charm did not glow. It did not respond. Saro tried again. Nothing. He shook it. He whispered to it. He begged it. Still nothing. Then the king realized the truth. You are a fraud. Before the king could order his guards, a huge shadow passed over the palace courtyard. It was the Akala bird, the same mystical creature Arolake had chased away long ago. This time, it came for what belonged to it. Saro tried to run, but the bird was faster. It swooped down, grabbed the charm from his hand, and disappeared into the sky. The power was gone. Saro fell to his knees, shaking with fear. He looked around, desperate and helpless. For the first time in years, he felt truly mortal again. Arolake stood far from him. Her heart was heavy, but she knew this was the result of pride. Quietly, she turned away and walked out of the palace, leaving Saro behind. Without the charm, without Arolake, and without his false glory, Saro became nothing again. His name faded with time, but his story lived on. The lesson of ANÍKÚLÁPΟ. People told the story for generations, reminding their children power must be used with humility. Gratitude is the root of blessings. And no man, no matter how strong, can truly conquer death. That is the tale of ANÍKÚLÁPΟ, the man who carried death in his pocket until pride took everything.